Is it going to pop up on that page?
I'm preparing to go live right now, Justin, so it should start. Let me see if I can get that set up for you as soon as it goes over. We'll start a few minutes early on YouTube.
I'm going to subscribe to that channel to be able to comment on that page.
I'm preparing to go live right now, Justin, so it should start. Let me see if, there we go. Do you see it on your end yet, Justin? I'm going to put it in the chat for anyone that wants to join. You can join us live on YouTube as well. Thank you, Justin. All right, we'll be starting for those that are entering now. We'll be starting in 1 minute. Just about have everybody gathered. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yep.
All right. Welcome, everyone. I have 3 o'clock sharp. We are glad to welcome you today. We are here to talk more about UGA's financial planning program, specifically the master's programs that we offer in financial planning. So whether you're joining us on this webinar or live using YouTube, we are glad to have you. We will be taking questions. Please put any and all questions in the chat, and we will try to answer them as we go. We have also saved quite a bit of time at the end to answer those questions along the way. So let's jump in, and I want to do a few introductions while we are here. And I will start with myself. I am Dr. Maribel Carlson. I am an adjunct professor at UGA and teach in the financial planning program. I also do the marketing and branding for the program. So we are glad to have you today. Would like to introduce Dr. John Grable, who is a full professor. He is the Athletic Association Endowed Professor of Family and Consumer Sciences. And Dr. Christy Archuleta, who's also a full professor. She and John both work a lot in the financial behavioral sector, and there's a lot of fun things that we'll talk to you more about. Lance Palmer will be joining us a little bit later today, and so we will introduce him once he comes on. All right, with that being said, the 2 supporting staff that are with us today is Justin Miller, who's our graduate degree professional, and Christy Sanders. Christy, we can see you. Give us a wave there. Christy is our academic advisor. Many of you know Miss Christy, and we appreciate all the work that she and Justin do constantly behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. They're the ones, kind of the glue that keep us all together and functioning. So if you do have questions, the best people to answer that are probably Christy and Justin, and they are going to be the ones answering that in the chat, both on the YouTube side as well as in this webinar today. With that being said, we are going to find out a little bit about you. So we would like you to take a poll for us. I've given you several different options. If you want to take out your smartphone, you can link here, or just simply go to poll.guru, G-U-R-U, and you'll type in the PIN code 915152. Obviously, you can also use the QRL code there if it's easiest to get up. I'll give you a few seconds to get started on that. And then we're going to have some questions for you. Give me a thumbs up if you're on the Zoom call, and just let me know that you have accessed the webinar or the poll when you're in it. If I could just see your virtual thumbs up. I see a couple of them. Give people a few more minutes. This is a new experience to all of us. I just found this, but I thought it would be a fun way to get to know you a little bit better. Again, you can click this hot link here, go to poll.guru, G-U-R-U, type in the passcode 915152 or the QRL code. All right, a few more thumbs up. Give you about 10 more seconds and we'll jump in. All right, let me switch over. This is going to be live coding. So when you are ready, let's go ahead and let me share my screen with you. And you will see in live time who is on the call, just as we will. So answer that first question there. Are you currently a UGA staff, student, or staff member? Give you 30 seconds to answer that. So far, we have 17 answers. Everyone so far is a UGA student or staff member. All right, looks like 100%. Everyone's a UGA staff member. Going forward, let's go to the next question. What are you currently classified as for UGA purposes? Answer that question there. I'll give you another 30 seconds to answer that. I should have some kind of background music, a little bit of Jeopardy. If you are just joining us, go to this poll, type in the code 915152, and you can join us. It's all in the chat. All right, and with that, let's see what our answers were here. Uh-oh. And this is where technology breaks down. Let me give it a quick refresh. Christy, were you guys able to answer that? There we go. Okay, we got that one. There we go. So we've got about 75% here that are undergraduate students. We have a few academic advisors. Thank you for joining. We also have either I'm not affiliated or other UGA staff members, about 18%. So great. Welcome, everyone. We're glad to have you. It helps us know a little bit more about you. Let's go into the third question. There's only 5, so we're halfway through. Give you 30 seconds to answer this one. Are you new to the field of financial planning? So if you are already enrolled, even as an undergrad in the financial planning program, go ahead and answer no, because you're at least familiar with it. If you're brand new to this world, just go ahead and put yes. And if you don't know, you can throw that in too. Okay, so a large majority of you, great, time's up there. Looks like 75% are not new. So somehow you're connected to financial planning. Many of you are probably students already in our undergraduate program. And about a quarter of you, though, are brand new to this world of financial planning. So welcome, welcome. All right, just 2 more questions. If you are a student looking to enter the financial planning program, when would you most likely consider starting your graduate work? I've given you some pre-populated answers there. Just type in the one that right now, as of today, maybe fits you the best. Again, I'll give you 30 seconds for this one. Great. This is helpful to see these things in real time. It will help us tailor our comments to you today to your needs specifically. Give you a few more seconds to finish answering. All right. So let's look at this. This is, I'm currently enrolled. Okay, so we have a few that are already currently enrolled. Many of you are looking for fall of 2021, just one for spring. Many are uncertain and some are just looking. So thank you for answering that. Last and final question. How did you hear about us? How did you hear about the UGA Financial Planning Program? You should be able to type in any word or collection of words. It doesn't have to be a complete sentence here. Just tell us what best fits for you.
Mary, can you refresh your screen?
Yes, I sure can. Are you seeing it now?
I don't actually see it, but you're doing a good description.
Oh dear.
That's
Are you
okay.
not seeing any of this?
No, there it is. It's coming now.
Okay, thank you. Give you 10 more seconds to finish. It looks like, far and large, all of you academic advisors out there, you're doing a great job, because by far, a round of applause for all the advisors. Our largest way that most students are hearing about the financial planning program are through our academic advisors. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Christy, you even get a direct shout out there. There are some online, some faculty, double dogs, co-workers, a professor told them, oh, specific people, great, working on campus, and then browsing majors. Great. Well, we are glad here. Let me go ahead and switch off my screen here, and I will take you back to our presentation for today. Thank you for that. That helps us know a little bit more about you and why you are coming. And so again, we can tailor this specifically for your needs. So can you see my screen again now, John and Christy? Are we back? All right. So let me set the stage really quickly, and then I'm going to turn it over to our great faculty. But the first of all is, why is there a need for financial planning? It is one of the fastest growing professions. There's a huge demand for financial planning that continues to grow. We're seeing a large number of retirees in our profession and a need for young professionals to come in and be a part of this profession. We're also seeing a large increase in the profession as a whole, not just a bunch of retirees, but really just there's always a plethora of opportunities within this profession. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. We say financial planning, and sometimes we think that it's very small. It's actually quite a large and encompassing field that you can do many different things, and it's a growing field. So I think there's a lot of opportunities for unique niches as well as specialties within that segment. And as you can see here, even the Department of Labor has categorized this as much faster than average growth. So a lot of good trajectory, a very solid foundation for a salary, and a great place to start. A few things that we'll talk about today is why coming to UGA. I don't have to sell that to most of you, as we found out. Many of you are already UGA students, so you'll be carrying on that top ranked program already. There are several faculty. In fact, the several that you will hear from today are prolific authors in the field. They're incredible teachers and really experienced in this profession. So you are really getting top-notch credibility here, as well as our unique experiential learning experiences. Many of you, but some not all of you, are familiar with our Aspire Clinic, as well as our Vita program, and we even have a student financial planning association here. So these are many opportunities. Aspire allows you to meet directly with clients in both a physical and virtual setting. Of course, a lot of things went virtual this last year, and so we've transitioned to that. But it allows you to work with financial coaching, financial counseling, financial therapy type situations, and really get some live client experience. Vita is is our volunteer income tax assistance program. It is live and very active right now. This is probably its busiest months of all time. And you will get real hands-on experience doing filing tax returns for clients, as well as working with those clients. And then this SFPA gives you interaction with professionals and others in the field. So there's a lot of opportunity, and these are just a few of the things that we have available for you, but it gives you an opportunity to have some of these experiential learning opportunities. Last slide for me, but the three things that I want you to know here are that we are registered with the CFP board. This does meet the CFP education requirement to sit for the exam. Many of you are probably interested in sitting for that. This would meet that as well. It also meets the education requirement for the AFC exam. This is the accredited financial counselor exam. And finally, it also meets the education requirement for the certified financial therapist. Is that correct, Christy? All right.
Yes.
Thank you. And that is partnered with the Financial Therapy Association. So depending on which program you get into, you have the opportunity to take that. There's also other exams out there. A few that come to mind are the Certified Retirement Counselor exam, the CRC. This program also allows for that. So there's many others out there. These are just probably three of our most common certifications that we have our students take. With that being said, can I turn the time over? I think, Christy, you're going to help us out with this one. And would you tell us a little more about double dogs and what that means?
Yeah, so I think several of you are on here actually to learn more about the Double Dogs program, which is a unique experience for UGA students where you can receive a bachelor's and master's degree in 5 years. And I've heard my colleague, Dr. Getz, who is pictured here, so that's an appropriate slide for him to be featured on, where he talks about, consumers. There are a lot of different designations and certifications that you can get within the financial planning profession or financial services profession. And so consumers don't necessarily understand what all of those mean. However, many consumers understand what a graduate degree is and what a master's degree is. And so this is going to help give you kind of a leg up to go ahead and get that master's degree and work on it at the same time you're working on your bachelor's degree. As a student in this, and I'm going to actually ask my colleagues who are all on the call, our faculty guru in the Double Dogs program was unable to join us today. So if any of my colleagues want to chime in to add anything, that will be great. But one of the things that you would do as an undergraduate student is that you can take up to 12 hours of graduate level credit with department permission, of course. And that would apply to your master's degree. So it's counting for your undergraduate, some of your undergraduate courses, and also as part of your master's degree, which is why you can accelerate through both degree programs. The great thing about this option is that you can use Hope and Zell Miller scholarships to fund both of those degrees in this pathway. So Christy Sanders is definitely an excellent resource. I know many of you have already on this call have already talked to her about the Double Dogs program. We'll talk a little bit about the two different options that you can take within the financial planning program, which is the behavioral financial planning / financial therapy track, or the traditional financial therapy track. So depending on what your career objectives are, there is a pathway that could be suitable for both for you. Anyone have anything else they want to add into that?
That was perfect.
All right, John, thank you, Christy, very much. John, would you take us in? If Christy mentioned this traditional financial planning track, can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, so the traditional is obviously you're on campus, you are traditional grad students, you've already completed your undergraduate degree, and you're going to be taking courses with some of the finest financial planning faculty in the country. And realistically, you're looking at 1.5 to 2 years, I would think, really to complete your degree at the master's level. And Mary, as you had already mentioned, the master's degree, actually all of our graduate programs are registered with CFP board, meaning after you graduate, you are eligible to sit for the CFP exam immediately. So if you're just sitting there going, why is this a big deal? Why have Mary, John, and Christy talked about this 12 times already? There's a big reason why. If you get a degree, let's say you're at another university, Kennesaw State. I'm just pulling this out of random, and you get a degree in business administration. Great degree, it's an awesome school, but you actually have to wait before you can sit for the CFP exam until you've accumulated work experience. Our graduate level program is different. CFP board recognizes the quality of UGA, and they say you can sit for that exam even if you don't have the experience quite yet. So it gives most people in our program at least a 2-year head start in their career. So to me, that's why the CFP registration is so important. And also, as Mary, as you've already noted, if you're not so much interested in straight financial planning, our program is also really very strong in financial counseling. So depending on the direction you want to go, a traditional on-campus master's degree can really be the perfect fit for you or for a student that you might know.
Hey, John, can I ask you a question to explain here? There's something called a thesis and a non-thesis. I think most people are scared of that word, but could you explain a little bit more of what that means?
Right. So if we were 20 years ago, so we were in the old world, you would go get a master's degree, and most likely you would write a thesis, which is a really long, detailed research paper or a conceptual paper. The world of thesis writing at the master's level is really going away, at least in the business area and financial planning. Very few students ever write a thesis. However, if you're sitting out there and you're thinking, I really want, my goal, what I really want to do is to have a PhD in financial planning, then coming to UGA as a grad student and writing a thesis will jumpstart your life into the academic world. But Mary, very few students actually write a thesis. In my 9 years at UGA, I've had one student do it. So it's not as common, but anyone who wants to write a thesis is more than welcome.
Right. Thank you very much for explaining that. And I think that also takes some of the fear out. So John, if they're not writing a thesis, what are they doing for a capstone project instead of that thesis?
Yeah, so I'm getting ready for the summer capstone experience, and it's scary, but it's really fun. So as a grad student, you're going to come in and you're going to work with a client, and it just depends on the semester. It could be a real client or a case scenario client, and you're going to write a financial plan for that client. And then the fun part is, I think this is the fun part, Mary, you're going to present your financial plan to your graduate committee. And so again, you're bringing all of the elements that you're learning at the graduate level, writing a plan. And so what does that look like? It could be 40 to 100 page plan, and it's going to look awesome. And don't worry about it if that scares you right now. By the time you're finished with your graduate degree, that'll be easy peasy for you.
Thank you, John. All right, let's move on to our next one. Lance Palmer is with us. Hi, Dr. Palmer. We're glad to have you. Would you explain a little bit of this new joint master's in accounting and financial planning? What does this mean?
Yeah, this is an exciting partnership that we have with the Toll School of Accounting in the Terry College. We're very excited. So it's a relatively new program on campus, and it's really designed for those students who want to pursue both their CPA designation as well as get their CFP designation. Certification and serve clients kind of in that accounting, tax, financial planning space. So it really allows students to differentiate themselves no matter what path they're originally on, whether it's accounting or financial planning. but they're able to expand their credentials. So this is really targeting those incoming, maybe students with undergraduate degrees in accounting that are interested in accounting, but don't really see their future in one of the big four firms or big national firms, and would rather really use that skill set and knowledge that they obtained in the accounting degree and expand to more client-specific services in financial planning. And work with individuals, maybe some business owners, get their CFP. They definitely understand the books, but really move into a planning arena with for their career path. And so, neat opportunity. The MAC program at UGA is typically 2 semesters. Here, because particularly students that have a tax focus in their MAC program are going to be able to take 1 more semester, really summer, couple classes in the summer, and then fall semester they'll finish up and with their financial planning master's degree as well. So it's a very neat opportunity for sticking around basically 1 more fall semester and being engaged in that summer semester as well with a class or 2, including an internship opportunity. Then students have the opportunity to walk away from Georgia with 2 master's degrees and really differentiate themselves in their careers. I don't know, Mary, I don't know if it would be safe to click on that link given the stuff right now, the sample course track.
I will click on that. In fact, I'm going to go do that for every one of these after we go through this plan. And that way I can show the students too how to navigate the web-based system as well. But yes, thank you for bringing that up.
Perfect. So those courses are all listed, a suggested course schedule that shows the courses that you should be taking for your accounting degree, courses that you should be taking for your financial planning degree at the graduate level, and a sequence of those courses. One of them in particular, you're going to be doing, I know MAC students are very accustomed to be doing 5 classes a semester. So you kind of get to choose whether you do 5 classes in the fall of your second year or in the spring of your first year. And if you want to keep it 5 throughout, then you can join us doing taxes that spring year, make that your 5th class, and really have the traditional busy season that so many accountants thrive in and long for each year, and go into withdrawals after it's gone. So this would be very fun for you. And then you can still have 5 classes in the fall as well. So lots of really fun opportunities with this, and very exciting.
Thank you, Dr. Palmer. I can see them lining up at the back door right now with all of that, all the tax work ahead. All right, Dr. Archuleta, would you tell us a little bit about this new behavioral financial planning, financial therapy track?
Yeah, so like Dr. Carlson said, this is a brand new track. We just began offering it this past fall. So this is really going to look at the psychological aspects and relational aspects around how people make decisions regarding money. So numbers don't just show up on a cash flow statement or a net worth statement. They're driven by how we feel, think, and relate to others around money. And so this is really diving in deeper to understand clients better and how they go about behaving with their money. So this is a little bit different track. It does not, you would not meet the requirements if you were just taking this solely if you were an on-campus. This is also offered on campus only. So if you were a master's student without a financial planning undergraduate degree, then this would not set you up to sit for the CFP exam, but it does meet the education requirements for the accredited financial counselor exam, as well as the certified financial therapist level 1 exam. So Dr. Carlson's going to show a sample of the courses later, And so we'll look at that. But this is a really great option, especially for our undergraduate financial planning students who are interested in the Double Dogs program, because this is going to give you a diverse set of courses that are different than the ones you have already taken. And with addition of the electives, you can take refreshers or more advanced content in some of the core financial planning courses. So it really kind of combines the best of both worlds. So again, this is available along with the traditional track and financial planning on campus for Double Dogs, as well as if you are only interested in coming to the master's program because you already have an undergraduate degree. It's also very suitable for someone coming from a different degree program. If you're interested in this track and you're not necessarily interested in sitting for the CFP exam, if you take just 2 more courses, you would actually be eligible to sit for the CFP exam. So.
Great. That was actually going to be my question. Is 2 more courses and then they could sit for the CFP as well. Great. Thank you very much. All right, let's finish up and then we'll kind of go to questions and I'll walk you through some of those sample course tracks that Dr. Plummer and Archuleta were mentioning. A couple of things here, and Justin Miller, who is on the chat here, is our resident and expert for all of these things. So I will give you the high level. Justin will have all the details that you need for this. But you would want to start with this graduate school applications for admission. It's a $75 application fee for domestic students, $100 for international. You may request a GRE or a GMAT waiver if you meet the conditions that are required and set forth on that. And then, of course, your college transcripts and a statement of purpose. You've got 3 letters of recommendation and a resume. It honestly, all combined, doesn't take that long to fill out. I believe this year, and Justin, please correct it in the chat if I am incorrect on this, but it should be July 1st is the fall semester deadline. And then spring semester is November 15th. That is how you enroll to get in. For any of these programs that we've covered today. This is a quick overview of what happens. So once the application is received, the graduate school is going to review it all. It's reviewed also by the major in the department. So the faculty, the graduate faculty will be reviewing that. And then we make a decision on that and send out a letter. And you will confirm that offer once you receive that. And if you accept it, we'll connect you with that academic advisor. You'll go through the registration and the online orientation and start payment. And then we'll give you support throughout, whether it's the library system, the online learning system, whatever it takes to make sure that this is successful for you. With that being said, I've included Christy Sanders' email. Most of you have that information, but if you don't know Justin Miller, he will be a great one to get to know. This is his email address and phone number. And like I said, both of them are on the chat now, so you can directly connect with them. There's also something right here that I want to show you. I'll see if it will actually hot link. Look at that. I have pulled up so you can see here our UGA financial planning page. Some of you might not be familiar with this, so let me kind of refer you down. If there's quite a bit on this page, so we're going to go directly to the programs. You can spend some time going through the various other things that we have on here. But most of you are familiar with this undergraduate side. Let's click on the Double Dogs here, and I will show you what each of the programs that they were referring to offers. So this gives you all the information you need there's Justin's name again, as well as the Academic Advising Center, how to apply, the course requirements, many of the things that we talked about today in the Double Dogs, as well as, and this is what I want to show you here, the various degree options. So each of these links is embedded to be able to give you the information you need. Now, if you go to the right here and click on this financial planning track, this is what Dr. Grable was mentioning before. These are the courses that you have to take in order to finish and certify for that financial planning track. This is the traditional one. And if you click on this right here, the Double Dogs degree requirements, it will take you to an Adobe Acrobat page, which will then have you go through, this is one that we're updating. Let me go into the behavioral financial therapy track here. clicking on those. So let me show you something really quick here. And Dr. Archuleta, would you explain a little bit more to us on this? There's a Double Dogs Behavioral Financial Planning for financial planning majors and non-financial planning majors. Why are there two different ones?
Yeah, good question. So based on if you're coming from our financial planning program, we would make different recommendations in terms of order of classes that you're taking and potentially some of the electives that you're taking versus if you're a non-financial planning degree person. So if you're coming from another program outside of financial planning.
And so I will pull this up. If you want to tell us a little bit more, this one is for the financial planning major track.
Yeah. So one of the reasons that this is set up like this is because undergraduate students in financial planning have to take, for example, FHCE 5200, which is the undergraduate version of financial counseling and communication. So in this, a requirement is to take FHCE 7200. And so we would ask you to take 7200 instead of taking 5200 for this. Whereas someone who is a non-financial planning major, it might be better to start with FHCE 8200, which is more of it gives a broader perspective on financial planning in general. And so students who are in the undergraduate program would be more familiar with some of those concepts. They are also required to take 8200, but we would just be taking them in a different order.
Great, thank you. And she's very carefully outlined here. You can see semester by semester what you would need to take to complete these requirements. So this answers a lot of questions that many of you have. In fact, on the second page here, you can see the electives that you were able to take with the course number in it. And you should be able to hot link that, and it will take you over to right here. It'll take you to the catalog, and you'll be able to see that and register immediately. The other one that she was mentioning here is for the double dogs who are not financial planning majors. So as she just discussed, there's 8200 and 7200 while in that. And again, these are only for double dogs. So let's go back and let's say, and by the way, here's our key faculty that teach in that program. You can reach out to any of them as well. So let's say that you're not a double dogs, that you are coming from a different program or want to do a separate master's degree. Then you would click on this right here, and I will show you the nuances here. All of the degrees we talked about today can be found on this page. Again, all the information, how to contact, how to apply, the time for requirement, admission, certification opportunities. And Dr. Palmer, let's start with this joint MAC program. So this is the course track that he was mentioning before, and I will pull that up here for you, Dr. Palmer, and maybe you could walk us through some of the nuances of this sample course track and what they would need to do.
Yes, no, thank you for pulling this up, Dr. Carlson. This is great. So you can see that that first year that you're in the joint program, most of your classes that fall are going to be accounting courses, kind of the core classes for the tax track, plus one accounting elective, plus you'll notice the last class listed there is our Wealth Management 1 class. And that will be your first financial planning class that you'll take the fall of your first year. And then as you move into the spring of your first year, you're going to be able to, your second financial planning class will be Advanced Wealth 2. Are you able to? Yeah, perfect. Thank you. And then, and so then you'll have two. And so here you see that that opportunity to jump in and participate in the Vita program as a manager or in another role there, and really see that spring of your first year and get some hands-on experience working with clients. You'll have the chance to supervise students and gain a lot of various experience throughout that. And then in the summer, you'll have one online class in financial planning, and you'll be able to do an internship for your accounting degree or some other accounting elective. And then your fall, that final fall, that's where you'll see the bulk of your financial planning classes rounding that out with your 5 classes. And again, if you do the Vita class in the spring, then you'd only have 1 financial planning elective that fall. So in the end, yeah, and there you have the capstone class, as was mentioned earlier, with the financial therapy track, behavioral financial planning, and then you'll also have the counseling class 7200 plus the advanced financial planning and analysis. So these are fun classes that you'll be able to get both those degrees in and have a great experience as you're going through that process.
Thank you so much for walking us through. And yes, all of these can be found. That's why I wanted to walk you through the website, because you can go in and put together your own schedule, and you'll know exactly when you'll need to take each of those according to the degree. So again, each of these is set up individually here. Dr. Grable talked about the traditional track. You'll just click on that and you'll be able to see what you need to take in each semester. This one has multiple options, but what you would need to take for any of those, and it kind of gives you a course schedule and an outline. And of course, Justin can always help with any of these questions along the way. The behavioral, so just a note here on the behavioral side, this is for the master's degree, not the double dogs, and that's why you'll see this course track is uniquely suited to be able to walk you through what that simple course track could look like. Let me finish up here. There is an option, like Dr. Grable said, if you are that unique individual that really wants to write a thesis, then we do have that option, and you can see the track here. But all of these can be found on that website. Just go to FP or FP.UGA.edu and click under degree options, click on any of these drop downs, and you can create the course as you see fit. I'm going to stop sharing from there, and we will open it up to questions that haven't been answered. Justin or Christy, have there been any questions come through that we should take first?
I threw some. Okay, go ahead, John. Go ahead, Justin.
Oh, we had a question. We had a question about a Terry student wondering if they can cross over from taking Terry classes and also earn their double dogs. And I would say that depending on their situation, most likely yes. They will just need to speak with their advisor and make sure they've got space in their schedule so that they're meeting all the requirements of the bachelor's degree on time. But most likely, yes, I think a lot of our graduate level courses meet some of the requirements necessary for some of the upper level electives and things like that.
Great.
And just to echo that, coming, whether from Terry or biology, I mean, we do have people that change their career paths. And as long as you're working with the undergraduate advisor in your undergraduate degree, are the courses that you would be taking as the graduate level in the financial planning, giving you what you need as an elective for your degree. So like I said, it's all about matching university requirements, degree requirements to make it work. But yes, people come in from all backgrounds.
Let me ask a question here, and this may be to you, Christy and Justin, once again. I've got someone who's looking at a double dog option, and they are looking to link that with another program, so it looks like they're a double major. Who would they best start contacting? So let's say, Christy, that there's someone that's an undergrad currently, but looking to do that double dog option. Would they come to you, or would they come to Justin first?
Justin, did you? Okay, so I'm happy to start to be the point person. So if I can't figure it out, and that's the thing with Justin, I mean, I know enough to get you on board with, okay, here are the programs, here's information about the undergraduate and graduate classes, but I'm not going to help you pick the graduate classes because I'm not a graduate specialist. That's where Justin and I help connect with Christy, Dr. Archuleta, and all the professors to make sure you're matching what you want with your goals and career. So Christy, Dr. Archuleta, I want you to, answer that. But I'm always happen to be a point person, just if it's, contact Christy Sanders. And then if I don't know the answer, all right, Justin, here we go.
That's great. So everyone, that would be great to start with Christy. Many of you are familiar with her already. And so she can point you in the right direction. Faculty, let me ask you, I'm not sure which one of you would know the answer to this best, but there is a question about graduate assistantships for these programs. How are they available? And if so, how would a student apply for an assistantship?
I would say that they are available. However, assistantships are primarily awarded to PhD students. Master's students that get awarded assistantships are rare. It's possible. If that's, I don't know that I would rely on that solely for your source of funding.
Yeah, and I would just add, Justin, too, that it's really going to be dependent on the needs of the program. And that's really what happens with all of these assistantships, is it's depending on the needs of what is going on currently in the system.
Right. And I can say that a lot of times when a master's student comes in and they're here for a year or a year less than that. And so it makes that, with them being essentially short term, it makes that process a little more difficult. Whereas a PhD student, we know it's going to be here for 3 or 4 years. And so that kind of changes that, that perspective a little bit for the department. And like you said, relies on the needs of the department.
And let me ask you one more while we're going on this assistantship route. Typically you hear back if you receive the assistantship. These typically are not awarded until right before the semester begins. For example, you're not going to hear in March usually for an assistantship that's going to start in August or September. Is that correct?
Well, I try to get out notices as soon as I can. This year is a little bit different. There's been some changes just in the department that have kind of changed what that looks like. With COVID, funding, I think, has also been a big issue. And we're still trying to kind of shake the tree and see how much money falls out. I think is kind of the way things go, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this year is a little different than normal. So we're working on it. We're trying to get those letters and stuff out as soon as possible. But unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot to report on that front at this moment.
Great, thank you. And I do want to emphasize what you said earlier is as a graduate student, you cannot be completely reliant on that as your primary source of funding for these programs at this time. I think there's just so many moving pieces to that. Great, thank you. Any other questions? I'm trying to go through them now.
Mary, there's been a couple of questions that Christy Sanders asked me to address. Number one is in the behavioral financial planning, financial therapy track, there are a number of electives. So it looks different than like the traditional financial planning where all the courses are spelled out for you. And so by design, it was created so this could be your career objectives and goals. So we want to make sure that you're getting the psychological and emotional and relational aspects of it, as well as getting some practical experience where you're working with another client at the Aspire Clinic, for example. But some students will want to utilize those electives so that they can have a refresher or more advanced content in the core financial planning courses. They also might find that, you know, I want to really enhance my ability to help clients change behavior or change their thinking. And so then there's great courses within the college or outside of the department or outside of the college that can actually supplement and help what we're already offering. So there's a course, for example, in HDFS, so Human Development and Family Sciences, where there's a course by Dr. Gagne that focuses on change, how clients change and how you think you can approach change. Dr. Warmath in our department offers a great course on decision making that would be an excellent complement to this class. And so it depends on what your goals are and what would allow you to also take those. But again, I'm going to reiterate that you can also, if you not coming from our financial planning undergraduate degree program, that you could utilize those electives to take those core financial planning courses so that you're eligible to sit for the CFP exam, but it would require you to take a couple of additional courses but a couple of additional courses and you get a master's and are eligible. The other question that came to me was, why can you not take e-courses if they're offered? John can pipe in as well, but the e-courses are specifically for our online master's degree program and not for our on-campus program. So those on-campus courses are for on-campus students, and the online courses are for those students who are in the online program. And that's to help so that there's a lower student faculty ratio. So that's to help you as a student.
That's great. Thank you, Christy, for bringing us to that. If you are interested in the online program, so this does not work with Double Dogs. This would be only a master's degree for online. You can go here, and this is again available at FP.UGA or financialplanning.UGA.edu, and you can request info and apply directly to our online master's. It's called a Master's of Science in Financial Planning. It's 100% online. You do not need or will be on campus. But thank you for bringing up whoever asked that question. That's a great question that we get often. You cannot be an on-campus student and take online courses and vice versa. A person that is applied to this fully distance program is not able to come on campus and take our on-campus program. So if you were specifically interested in the online program, that is available. The reason we didn't bring that up today is most of you are already on campus and most of you want to stay on campus. And so we did not spend a lot of time talking about this program because it is international. You could live anywhere in the world or US and still take this program. Thank you.
Let's see.
I have one that I think will kind of close out some of our acceptance. Justin, this is probably for you, but we have an individual that's been accepted to the graduate program. When should this person start registering for classes? And does she need to get a new academic advisor? I'm assuming going from Miss Christie to you. How does this work?
Sure. So as a grad student, you will have an advisory committee. Advisory committee is going to be the one that's going to kind of help you through the process and will ultimately end up evaluating your capstone at the end of the program.
I think Justin's internet is going in and out. So
I apologize.
Okay.
After you have created an advisory committee, they will help you out. Until that point, Dr. Grable is the temporary advisor and can help you figure out the courses you want to take. If you're starting in the fall, it's usually 8,200 and 6,200. And then in the spring, it's 6,205 and I forget the other one. Someone else might be able to chime in, but there's kind of a standard starting point for fall and spring semesters that you'll get to kind of the same recommendation. But yeah, until you form that advisory committee, Dr. Grable is the one to consult. And if you're as a double dog student, it'll depend on what courses you've already taken and kind of where you are in your individual program.
And I'm going to take some of the heat off of Dr. Grable. Poor Dr. Grable will be inundated after this, on top of all the things that he's doing otherwise. But instead of reaching out to him, I'd like you to start here. And this is why I walked you through those courses directly. So if you are accepted and you're ready to apply, no need to even reach out. All you need to do is jump in and pull up these different degree requirements. So you need to decide here, which track are you most interested in? If it's the traditional track, then you're literally going to pull up this sample course track and you're going to, if you're going to start in the fall, this is what you would register for in the fall. And it's all hot linked here, like I mentioned. So you should be able to directly open it to the UGA. Whoops, my pop-up is blocked. But as you pop it up, you will be able to go in yourself and register for courses. So you don't need, I just want to be careful on Dr. Grable. Definitely reach out to him for any large questions. But any of these things we've tried to spell out for you in a very methodical way where he's not having to answer those types of questions. And that's true for the behavioral track as well as the joint masters. Most of this information should be found on the website here for you. Thank you for taking that. Now, let me actually switch to Dr. Grable and ask a few hard questions for you, Dr. Grable. We've got some really good questions coming in. One of them says, can you give me examples of why and how a master's degree is worth pursuing in the financial planning field? I know that a degree is not required to become a CFP. We get this all the time. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, and so I've been listening to all of this, and I do want to remind people who are brand new to financial planning and our program that why should you get a master's degree in financial planning is if you have really the heart of a social worker, but the mind of a business owner, then this is the right spot for you. And because what you're learning at the master's level is how to really bring your desire to help others into the financial world and help people improve their financial well-being and improve their life. And what we've noticed, or I've noticed, I would think the other faculty have noticed this as well, the job market is really good. And so you could be a history major and get a job in financial planning. That most likely is going to be selling insurance somewhere or selling a product. The firms that are looking for master's level people to work for them, they're looking for a deeper dive, people who have greater levels of knowledge and that real passion for financial planning. And the market is really good right now. I think it's going to continue to be good. So again, what you need to ask yourself is, what is your career objective? And do you really have that heart of the social worker and the mind of a business owner? And if you do, you will not find a more rewarding career than financial planning. That doesn't really answer the question, but that's my thought.
It's a good sales pitch. Christy or Lance, either of you, Dr. Palmer or Dr. Archuleta, do you have any thoughts on this as well? Thank you, Dr. Grable.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that a master's degree allows students to gain is a little bit more experience. I think if you come into a master's program with the intent to gain experience and broaden your exposure, then that's the most important thing. These joint programs and the double dog programs, you're really accelerating the education at your master's level. And so it's incumbent to also couple deeper experience. And so really take advantage of every experiential learning opportunity that you have in the graduate program, which there are many of. And two, take advantage of every opportunity you have to attend professional conferences, which our program attends several of each year. And students have the opportunity to really go and network with the profession. So really this time that you have to pursue a master's is going to build your experience in a very structured way, as well as broaden your exposure to, dare I say, not just the profession, but the entire industry, spanning from financial therapy to financial planning to financial counseling and all things in between. And so it's just it's an opportunity to move forward in a very structured way, gain further experience, further exposure, and deepen your understanding and knowledge in the area.
Thank you very much. Dr. Archuleta, let me ask you a question now. We have many students on here who are already financial planning undergrads, and they've taken many of the 4,000 level classes in our major. So they are still interested in maybe pursuing an advanced degree, but they're wondering to themselves, do I really go back and get another degree in financial planning? Can you talk to us a little bit about why should they, one, and then two, what the advantages of some of these differentiation specializations that you spoke of earlier?
Yeah, so a couple of responses to that question. First of all, one of the reasons of creating the Double Dogs program and including multiple tracks, so the two different tracks that are available, is to help diversify students' opportunities to take courses. So you're taking different courses if you're pursuing the behavioral financial planning track, and you can choose to take core courses. There was a question in here earlier about 4,000 versus 6,000 level courses, and Dr. Palmer and Dr. Grable can correct me if I'm wrong, but the graduate level courses, so 6,000 level and above, tend to be, you're going to take a deeper dive into the content, and it's going to be structured in a different way. So there's going to be more course discussion and less lecturing at students because you're not in a room of 80 students or more. It's just a different opportunity to provide different types of instructions. So that way you can go deeper into the material. There might be a little bit more reading or different reading. So it's definitely not going to be the exact same course that you took as an undergraduate, but you can expect that there would be some review and repeated material because you're going to be in classes that with students who are not familiar with that material at all, like you might be coming from the undergraduate financial planning program. So that is one of the reasons we have 2 different tracks within the master's program. If you are a financial planning undergraduate student, you finish out that degree and then you move into the behavioral financial planning track, for example, then you would be eligible to sit for all of those certifications, the CFP, the CFT level 1, the AFC, the CRC. So there's a number of different career opportunities for you, and it gives you more options. And in my belief, it helps you be a more holistic planner, a more holistic counselor, and be able to approach clients differently and really help them to move them towards meeting their goals and objectives. And so then that plays into my response from your question earlier in terms of why get a master's degree. Well, there's the opportunity to learn additional information and to be able to apply that in new ways. So we don't offer the psychological aspects really in the undergraduate program. There's a couple of places where students do get a little bit of that, but this is an awesome opportunity to be able to advance that knowledge and skill level. And then several of you probably weren't on here earlier when we mentioned that consumers understand master's degree, but they might not necessarily understand all of the different types of certifications and what that mean or what those mean. So it's just an additional tool in your tool belt, and it's an additional credential that you can advertise and market yourself. So it puts you in a different position for different job opportunities.
Great. That is a great way to end. We're at the top of our hour. I'm going to leave you with this slide here. If you do have further questions or comments, we would love to hear from you. So like we mentioned, the FP.UGA.edu takes you to all of our degree programs from undergrad all the way to the PhD. We didn't cover a PhD, but if you're interested, we do have that program available as well. And then please reach out to Christy Sanders and Justin Miller, and they should be able to help you get to the right place at least, so if not, answer your questions along the way. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next time.